it's good.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you start, because I know you'll just do that one.
I'm promising that.
That's why you're gonna start.
What's up, guys? It's your favorite two Toms, once again back for another episode of Ferry Friday. What are we talking about this week, Tom?
Today we are talking about what you should be doing for your buyer consult.
Things that will take your buyer consultations to the next level. Things that will help set you apart from the rest of those agents in the world.
The very first step in any buyer consult should be talking about the agency agreement, the laws that we deal with as agents and throughout a transaction, and the fees that you get paid as an agent. You want to talk about how you get paid because so many consumers don't know how their realtor gets paid. And that misinformation can cause a lot of miscommunication.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people think that we might even just be paid hourly, if only.
Or getting paid by every door that you open.
Not a chance.
But a lot of people think that's how it is that we get paid, so they don't understand that we are truly paid on a commission based on the sales price at closing. So it's after the home has closed throughout the entire transaction process. We're not getting paid, and a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, and we're not being paid by the doors that we open. We're being paid per service that we give. And if you're giving the best possible service, I don't think it's crazy to demand that 3%, whether it be paid by the seller or the buyer or a combination of the two. You should make it known up front that you're getting the 3% and then go into everything showing why you're worth that.
You shouldn't budge on what your standard fee is for yourself on any transaction because it is what you deserve. It's the value that you bring, and having that conversation up front with your client leads to them knowing every situation moving forward. You know, like, hey, I'm going to seek it from the seller first, because that's typically, as a buyer's agent, you're going to be seeking to get paid by the seller first.
At least here in Texas.
In Texas. But if you are not being paid the full amount by the seller, maybe the seller's only paying 2%, 2.5%, whatever, per the buyer representation agreement, you're saying that you will be seeking that additional amount from the buyer. So all of that conversation needs to be had up front so that there isn't any miscommunication down the line of what you deserve and what you're going to be getting overall. And all of this should be grouped in with the agency partnership and what that looks like. Tell us a little bit more about that, Tom.
Yeah, Tom. So in Texas, at the first substantial contact with any buyer or seller in a real estate transaction, we are required to give them or provide to them the IABS, the information about brokerage services. And what that does is it talks about my duty to you as a buyer, as your sole agent. I'm working 100% on your behalf. Everything that I do is to help get you the best deal. But in that IABS, it also talks about the possibility of intermediary, meaning I work for Real Broker, but the other half of this transaction could also be working for Real Broker. So it's kind of defining all the different meanings and terms and everything that goes into our agency and what we do. So it's clear and defined, and there's no secrets about anything. Because secrets lead to a lack of trust, and if people don't trust you, they're not going to want to work with you.
So there at that buyer's consultation, you should be getting the IABS sign here in Texas. You should also be getting your representation agreement sign saying, hey, you know, and maybe it's at the very end, right? But overall, you should have those documents signed to say like, hey, you know, we've gotten a good feel for each other. We see that we're a good fit going both ways. And okay, here's our documents to show it so that we can go ahead and get started working on the next steps.
Yeah. And the next step is going to be the discovery step, figuring out what they want. What are their must-haves? What are their deal breakers? Asking those open-ended questions could be as simple as, hey, tell me about your previous realtor experiences. This way you can learn a little bit more about how they like to operate, what they're looking for, and what they're expecting out of you. Questions like, how do you like to be communicated with?
Maybe they prefer to be called, texted, emailed. That way, you're really contacting them the best way that they feel the most comfortable responding to you, especially if it's a quick situation where you need an answer right away. And, asking about those previous realtor experiences helps you find out any other, preconceptions that they have going into the process. What did they like about it? What did they not like about their previous realtor? And you get to use that as you are going on throughout the process, making sure to provide them exactly what they're looking for and what they need.
Yep, exactly. And then as you're doing this, you're pulling up the MLS. Mm-hmm. You're learning about them, but then you're also, while you're learning about what they're looking for in an agent, you're also learning about what they're looking for in a home. So you've got the MLS pulled up. You've got it shared screen or in person. You've got the computer shown to them, showing them everything that they're looking for and what exists in the market today to go with that.
You're pulling up a home, you're saying, okay, this matches, you said 3-bedroom, 2-bath, in this area, in this price range. Let's pull this up. What do you think of this home? Okay, we're clicking through, we're looking at it together. They say, I don't really like the layout of that home. I want something a little more open concept. Okay, well now I can take that information and switch it up. And I can click and look at the next home and say, I don't think this is the one for you since it doesn't have that open concept that you're looking for. They already feel heard. They already feel known and ready to continue working with you because you're listening and you're acting on what you're hearing from them.
Because at the end of the day, we're not selling homes. We're selling service. And you want to be providing that service from day one, from the first moment of contact. You want to be showing them the value that you provide and that service that you're going to give them.
And that is everything you need to know about the buyer consultation process, what you should be touching on during your buyer consults, and really just how to provide the best service as you sit down with the first big meeting that you're having with a client.
Yep. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you once again for tuning into Ferry Friday. I'm Tom.
So am I.
And we are very happy to have had you with us.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.